Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Cover Picks Most Wanted. I'm the Knife Wonder, joined by Big Remo, Dark Evolution Comics, and Furrbird the Nerd. For Remo and Furrbird, this is their first time stepping to the Cover Picks arena. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Doing
Remo
good,
always got
man.
to be
Just
too cool.
Monday.
Doing it.
Just Monday.
All right, Furr, and then Dark. Good to have
Yo.
you on a different type of edition of Cover Picks. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, man, doing great. I'm glad to be here.
All right, awesome. So, look, if y'all don't know, this is gonna be a little bit different than the FOC show we do. I've been trying to promote this thing on Drunken Chat. I've been promoting it on my not my YouTube, but my IG channel. So the difference in between Cover Picks Most Wanted and the regular Cover Picks is that we are going to be drafting books that was on the Key Collector Trending 20, the CBSI Hot 10, and the Cover Price Top 10 books. So we're going to kind of weed out all three of those lists and kind of give y'all what we think are the best of the best from those lists. And it's also going to give us a way to kind of talk about these books and break them down and kind of get a good idea on which books we think are going to stand the test of time and which books we think aren't going to stand the test of time. So it's going to be a little bit of a different show than what we do on normally on Cover Picks, but I think this is going to be the more exciting show of the two in regards of what's going on in the community, because right now everybody is talking about the first appearance that was in Black Panther #3, legacy issue number 200, and this caught a lot of people off guard. Some people it didn't catch off guard, but everybody has an opinion on this book. So we definitely want to get into that and kind of break down what's going on with that book. I do want to remind y'all that we do have a giveaway running right now. I'm giving away a copy of the Hot Black Panther 3 book that everybody wants. All you have to do is comment on the video below, and I'll add your name to the wheel. So if you participated in last week's cover show live, you get one entry. If you commented on the video, you get another entry. And then if you're live, you get an entry. And if you comment on this video, you get an entry. So you got a chance to get between 3 and 4 entries, depending on how many of our shows you watch and if you watch them live or not. So, definitely it pays to participate. And I'm going to get that book away on this coming up Wednesday Cover Picks FOC show. And then I'll announce a new giveaway that's going to start this week. So every chance y'all will get a chance to win, a dope book as a token of our appreciation for y'all coming out and supporting Cover Picks. So before we move on, I do want to go over the rules really quick. Before I go over the rules, let's look in the chat and see who's here, because we got to support our people and show, and especially the ones that come out and watch the show live. So we got Southpaw Brad, who says he's a new sub here. Hey, what's up, Brad? We definitely welcome you to the Cover Picks family. Good to have you here. We got my brother Jay Starks. He says, "Yo, is this a new segment or I just been asleep?" Bro, I forgot to tell you that I was doing this on the phone when I talked to you today. But yes, this is a new segment. We got Omar V, who's pretty much on at every show. So definitely appreciate you for coming out. We got Tomb in the building. What's up? Sherlyn Espina. You know them Ferd?
That's my sister, man. That's my sister. That's the OG sister right there.
Okay, that's the OG sister. Okay.
Big sis.
Big sis is basically Mama Bear. You got a big sister, bro. That's like having another mama right there, bro. That's pressure all day. And we got my boy Manny the Collector, man. This is one of my favorite follows on IG. Man. This dude is funny. He's insightful at the same time, man. I love Manny, bro. Such a cool dude. The Comic Shack. Hey, what's up, Comic Shack? Thank you for coming through. Eric Borja? Am I saying that right? Y'all got to be my quality control with pronouncing these names. Astro Wizard, one of our regulars, always coming through, showing love. Who else? We got some guy named Dark Evolution Comics in here, and I might know him a little bit. We got some guy named Big Remo in here. Brett Hess, thank you for coming through. My guy Dwayne Scott, what's up, man? Queen Key Comics, thank you for coming through and showing your support.
That's
we got a Russian bot in the building. Let me get that Russian bot up out of here.
Russian bot. He's showing
got my
up.
guy Eric S. Hurd, who does all my logos and all of that good stuff.
Oh, cool.
Eric, what's up, man? All right, so that's everybody, man. We got 20 live right now. I'm definitely feeling the support from the community. So great way to get this thing kicked off, man. Now let's go over the rules of the draft. Pretty simple stuff. Like I said, these books that we're drafting today are going to be from the most recent Key Collector, Cover Price, and CBSI Hot 10 list. Each contender is going to get a total of 3 picks apiece. So we're going to be doing 12 books tonight. Normally we do 15, but I cut it down a little bit because I know we're going to talk about these books a little bit more since they're spec books that people are spending a lot of money on. It's going to be a little bit more controversy over them. Each title can only be selected once. Each contender has 30 seconds to make their pick. If you don't make your pick within that 30 seconds, the next guy up can jump ahead of you and take whatever book they want. And the draft order will be determined by a random wheel. So with that being said, let me share my screen. And one thing that's going to be different about this is that we're not going to do any wild cards with this. We're just going to kind of keep this more simple and just kind of focus on, the speculation with this one. Because everybody been screaming they want me to do a speculation show, this, that, and the third. So we're going to try to keep it more about the speculation and delivering y'all good information, in regards to that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and spin this wheel and see who is going to get that coveted first pick. Wow. So close. Y'all would have been screaming conspiracy, but Bird, first time on cover picks, and he gets the number 1 pick. Way to go, brother. So you're going to set the tone for the night. So it could be a lot of controversy if you don't take a certain book, number 1, but we gonna
I know.
The choice is yours, brother. That's one thing that's dope about cover picks. We don't just put a book in there just because that's what it should be. No, you can do what you want, bro. And state your case for why you did it. All right, we got the baddest Dundada, the ninth wonder pick in second. Let's see who's gonna get this third pick, man. Let's see who's gonna get this third pick, man. Ooh, dark.
I get the back-to-back, huh?
Yeah, Remo get the back-to-back.
That's the best one.
All right, man. That is what's up. What's up. Let me go ahead and get this draft order set up right quick. And Big Remo, where else can we find you besides cover picks and drunken chat?
At the house, in the office, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, ain't a bad place to be, brother.
6 to 4, you know what I'm saying? Saturday nights at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Comic Hall crew. We're dwindling it down to like once a month. We had a hiatus, and when we came back, we were like, man, we all got our careers changed at the same time, so we're taking a little time to kind of get our affairs in order, and then we're going to reconvene. But right now, for sure, we'll do it once a month. We're going to try and get it down to like every 2 weeks. And then and I got some things in the works, you know what I mean, behind the scenes. I got a couple things I want to do, probably involving the family. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to pull that together. And then when I
with wifey or?
Yeah, wifey, and then a little segment for my daughter. So, but I got to try and get her in. She's the one that got us all into this, and then she kind of faded to the back and act like she's too good to be on video. So I got to try and figure out a way for her to get her a little segment on to kind of, play into her little stuff that she's interested in too. So, but yeah, me and the wife are working on something. We're gonna see if we can coexist on screen together, and we'll when we figure it all out, you guys will be the first to know.
Yes, sir. That's good to hear. And Furberg, where can we find you besides cover picks?
You can find me on Instagram. I just post basically stuff about market and how.
Don't be shy. Tell them the fur bird report.
The fur bird market report. That's where you can find me. Hashtag. Yeah.
If you know what, when you started doing fur bird market report, you know, I was seeing Long Short do his report first. So I kind of hit Long Short up. I was like, dang, imitation is the best form of flattery, bro. You know. But I didn't know that you kind of knew Long Short a little bit. But I actually think it is interesting to have like you doing the fur bird report and Long Short doing his report. And honestly, bro, if y'all not following both of these guys, it's an easy way to keep up with what's going on in the market. Because sometimes it'll be a book that you're not even really thinking of, and you'll see one of them post it, and you will go and check it out. You'll be like, man, I can get this book for a good price. It's a bad thing because you end up spending more money than you anticipate. Because I just be buying stuff sporadically based off y'all posting books. But and the good thing, it keeps you informed.
But they don't post books though. They have different flavor on the books that they post. They're not all the same.
Exactly. Yeah, Long Short's a little bit. He does like a little bit more kind of. I'd say like kind of deeper picks. Like I'm more of like the like newer stuff or just kind of MCU based type thing. And I just started just because like I want to know, am I paying too much for this stuff? And then people just hit me up and it just kind of turned into a thing. So there you go.
Yep. But yeah, it's one of the best parts of the community in my opinion. And then Dark, I mean, we know we can find you on Cover Picks, brother, but I just want to double check. Do you got anything else going on that you want to let the people know about, or it's still just here in IG for you, brother?
It's still here in IG for right now, but you know, I keep saying it. I'm gonna get on Whatnot one of these days. I have too many damn books. I have too many doubles. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
But
and I think you will do very well on Whatnot. You know your books. You're easy to talk to, professional guy. So you should do well on Whatnot.
Yeah.
I definitely gotta get on there. I got too much stuff, man. I gotta get rid of some stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all the whole board before we start the draft. The books that we are going to be drafting today, we have all new Ghost Rider #1, the first solo series for Robbie Reyes. We have Astonishing X-Men #6, the first full appearance of Abigail Brand. We have, of course, the Black Panther #3, first appearance of Tossin. It has everybody going crazy right now. Deathstroke Inc. #5, the 1-in-25 variant, a cover play that's heating up right now. A lot of these DC 1-in-25s are starting to heat up. Fantastic Four 358. Godzilla #1, the baddest of them all, man. Not many people can hold Godzilla, man. This Godzilla is one of my favorite creations of all time, man. Godzilla is just a beast. We got Marvel Voices Communities #1. I don't know who put some heat on this book, but whoever put some heat on this book, they a bad boy, man. They a bad boy.
My wife said thank you. She said thank you. She had that book and was loving it, and you just confirmed everything. I was like, God damn
it. Hey, that's what's up, man. That's why look, I'm telling y'all gotta get y'all show together, bro. We got Moon Knight 188. I think this is the first Sun King, if I'm not mistaken. Right. Teen Titans Annual #2, the first Vigilante. We have Reptile #1, the first appearance of Julian and Eva Quintero, and the first solo series for Reptile. So this is a double key. And then we have Darth Vader #3, first appearance of Dr. Aphra, the first cover appearance of the Murder Droids and Dr. Aphra on this one as well. So that's a slight double key. And then we have Swordmaster #1, first solo series of a Swordmaster. All right, fellas. So those are the books. You are the contenders. Furrbird, you are first up. Where you going, brother? How you gonna start this draft off? You gonna start it off with controversy, or are you gonna give the people what they expect?
I'm gonna start a little controversy, man. I don't want to draft Kwame like first pick, So, to reference for all you young cats, I'm gonna go with Darth Vader 3. It's my first pick, man.
Wow.
He took my shit.
Wow.
Okay.
Didn't see that coming.
Okay.
I didn't either.
So now here's the question, Ferg, because this is what could stop some people from hating on this pick.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna take the cover A, or are you gonna take the 1 in 25? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go with the 4th print. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do.
The 4th print over the 1 in 25?
Yeah.
Let me find a picture of the 4th print.
That's the one with the green cover, right? I may mess that up, but
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just to have
everyone's like, get him off the show.
No, it's
get him off the show. Okay.
Purple, yeah.
Yeah, I'll roll with that one. That's cool.
Now, see, if you would have took the 1 in 25 over this,
Don't change his mind.
No, I'm good with this.
No, that's his pick.
I'm good with this.
Now, if the chat chew his ass out for it, now, in my opinion, I would definitely take the 1 in 25. I would take the LaRocca 1 in 25 over that Black Panther 3 toxic all day without a doubt.
Yeah,
it wouldn't matter if it was raw or a 9.8. But it's just not about what I think. Dark Evolution. Which one would you take? Would you take that Black Panther 3 or either one of the Darth Vader books?
I don't know, man, because Tossin is up in the air, right? People are comparing that to Miles. Are they going to make it as big as Miles? And is Black Panther ever going to be as big as Spider-Man? Probably not. So, I don't know. I guess I'd go Darth Vader on this one, too.
I respect it. And what about you, Remo? What would you do?
I know this book is rare and everything. I know it's hard to get in a good grade. But I think I would just rock the cover A, the first print. Like, it's recognizable. Like, even someone who's like a casual would recognize it as being the first appearance. And I think long term, as it continues to soar, once she gets announced, that it'll be a book that's always liquid.
Yeah, I can definitely respect that side of it too, because for the longest, I saw the 1 in 25 in person one time. The guy that presses my books, he had one. They came back a 9.6. That was the first time I ever saw that book in person. I done seen a bunch of cover A's of the Dr. Aphra 3, but the one thing to think about, the Murder Droids not on the cover of that 1 in 25. No. So maybe down the line we could see some retention between those two books, where you could see the 1 in 25 come down a little bit, and we could see the cover A make a bigger jump, which I think that possibly could happen once we see the Murder Droids on the Disney Plus show, or they decide to do a Dr. Aphra movie, however that plays out. But chat, please let us know by throwing a comment in what you would do, the Black Panther 3 or the Dr. Aphra, either cover. Don't matter if it's the A, the 1 in 25, however you would.
What was the name of the droid that came and was shooting up in the first Mandalorian?
I can't remember.
I forgot.
IG-88. IG-88,
yeah,
I think.
So you saw how he was, and he was only in a couple episodes, and everybody loved that dude. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think his books really took off because there's not really a lot of books that are really like keys with him in it. But if there's murder droids, as much as everybody loves them, and when they come in and if they use them right, you know what I mean? Because you're expecting C-3PO and R2-D2, and it ain't nothing like that. Like,
yeah,
that book is gonna blow up, man. I mean, and I keep looking at it now, and I'm like, man, I gotta grab one before too long. I gotta grab one. And man, I don't want to wait too long, but I think that's gonna be next on the list of books that I grab.
Yeah, I just grabbed I think it's the third print from Bolo, aka Jack from Whatnot. On he did a sale and I got a steal on one, so I was pretty happy to pick that up. I was like, you know what? I was like, because I had a first print and I sold it to Card Gems, and I was like, oh man, I should have got that graded. I need to ask him what grade he got back on that book. But yeah, and then I think I had like a third or a fourth print. I don't know. But it's a couple of shops around me that have some raw copies, and I'm thinking about just scooping them up and just leaving them raw, because you don't got to grade everything. You know, some books just
Star Wars, you don't have to be graded.
Yeah, it's because like, if you had the GSX #1 right now, like who wouldn't buy that raw, bro? Like, you know, sometimes it's easy. It is easy to sell graded books, just as far as like you don't have to worry about any fights about condition, but if you think about it, like a raw book, like the way people love to submit grade and everybody want to be a master presser, and you know, and trying to send books in for a 9.8, raw books might be a little bit more liquid. I ain't gonna say a little bit. Raw books can definitely be more liquid than the slabs can. So just something to think about. And
there's people that like to get them with the intrigue of I can get a 9.8, like the potential, you know what I mean? Like, so you'll always be able to sell a raw book. Whereas if you have a 9.8 or anything less, people are going to be trying to wheel and deal with you. You know what I mean? They're going to want to give you the price, but you know, not too far off, but they're still going to try and get a deal. Whereas a raw book, you can sell it all the way up to what that amount is because of the possibility of a 9.8.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And all right, so you know, we on to the second pick, which the second pick is my pick. I honestly, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at the list trying to see, dang, can I commit another justifiable controversy like Ferg did? But man, I really couldn't just justify it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just keep it simple, and I'm gonna go ahead and draft the book that everybody is talking about, the Black Panther #3, first appearance of Tossin. But of course, I'm gonna take the 1 in 25. You know, I always put the cover A up to give people the option because not everybody wants the ratio. But the 1 in 25, man, let's go ahead and talk about it, man. What do y'all think is driving the popularity on this book right now? And we'll just go clockwise and start with Remo.
Honestly, I think that the excitement is, of course, it's a first appearance of a new character that people want to believe in because everybody is still kind of reeling from Chad Boseman dying. So they're like, oh, this might be the next chance we get to see this character on the big screen. You know what I mean? Like, this is the next, you know, person that can take over the mantle, you know what I mean? Or make you forget about that in case Shuri doesn't work out. But honestly, I believe it's the people who didn't get the book. You know what I mean? Like, they're pushing the value of the book for the people who did get it up because it's giving everybody FOMO. Because not only you don't hear the people that have the book talking up the book, you hear everybody who don't have the book talking about how the book is not worth what it's selling for. You know,
you're definitely right about that, Remo. And we do have Tales from the Flipside, Drunken Chat, Comic Book Women, Loyalty in the House, Mama Comic, aka Lucy. What's up? Thank you for stopping by the show and showing your support, as always. Now, I did want to show right quick. Give me 1 second. I wanted to show this right quick. Just a quick look at eBay. Just kind of we can see where these books are at. We got pre-sales on cover A, CGC 9.8 at 175. You know, somebody's offering those. You know, we got high offers, you know, in the 5s and 600s for the 1 in 25s. We got a set for 650. So, you know, it's kind of past the point to where we could scream market manipulation or anything of that nature. The only thing that had me kind of curious was that the cover A's seemed like they really weren't going up in value. But I know earlier Mighty Mel V sent me a screenshot showing where the cover A's are starting to push up into the $50 range. Um, but Ferg, what are your thoughts on this book and just this controversy and period, surrounding this book right now? Do you think it's like a GME AMC stock type of thing where a bunch of collectors are just saying, "Oh, we gonna pound this book, we gonna bomb at bid outrageous prices on them, do outrageous buy it now, and kind of force this character to be a thing?" Or do you think it's more of what Remo was saying, where it's just kind of like people might be holding on to hope, looking for somebody that could possibly be a new Black Panther, a younger Black Panther that's going to be built more for this generation of this next generation of comic book readers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it basically there's not real comic book collectors buying this book, just because of the amount of money that's going into this 1 in 25. The reason I say that is because was a CBR put out a article about the new Tulsa being the new character and whatnot, and actually I heard about this book from someone who does not collect comic books at all. And he was like, "Hey, how do I get the Black Panther 3?" And I was like, I mean, you just go to the store and pick it up. And he was just telling me about like this and that. And he doesn't know anything about comic books, but he loves, like, he's a sneakerhead. So he knows how like value of like collectibles goes, and he kind of wants to get into it and whatnot. I think, it's funny you mentioned like AMC, GameStop type deal. I feel like this is like Miles Morales' Tesla, and this could be Nicola. You guys remember, I don't know if you're in stocks or whatever, but Nicola is like basically like the next Tesla. I think that's how people are viewing this book.
Okay.
And that's what's pushing up the FOMO. I mean, like, I was talking with a guy. I mean, you could spend good $500 on so many other 9.8 books. I mean, you get that Darth Vader 398 for 500, and that's a solid investment. I mean, she's coming. This Thompson guy, I mean, who knows? No, he could be flavor of the week in like a week, 2 weeks, a month tops, right? Or he could be the next Miles, but that's so far down the line, man. He's a great character, don't get me wrong, but not for $550 after less than a week being out on the market. I just can't justify it. So,
yes, sir. And then in the chat, we definitely want to know what you guys think about Tyson. So leave your comments below, and I will definitely highlight them on screen. And last but not least, Dark, I really haven't talked to you on how you felt about this, bro, like behind the scenes or anything of that nature. What do you think about all of this, man? I definitely want to hear your opinion, because you normally have a more rational approach to these things. So I definitely want to hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah, from a pure comic book cover art way, because I always look at art first. Art is number one for me, above any book and the spec or anything. Art always catches my eye, and this book doesn't for me. That's just me. I know everybody has their own opinion, but that's just me. I don't think the art on the cover is anything special. It's good. It's just nothing that is like, holy shit, I've never seen a cover like that. Or it's not something that's just going to stand out for me. So just right there, that's number one on my list. But anything past that, I think the character is cool. I think there's a lot of spec for the MCU in the future, but I think like Big Remo said and Ferd said, like, people are scared of missing out on this book, and they're scared of this being the next, UF4 1 in 25, and they don't want to sit on missing a $10,000, $25,000 book, depending on. I think the last book I saw on eBay for the 1 in 25 for UF4 was 25 grand for a 9.8. So, like, people are scared to miss out on a possibility of the character, and this key book that has an elite cover on it or a hard to come by cover. Um, I think we're gonna know in the next 3 to 4 weeks whether this book is worth anything, because we're gonna start to see if people's interest in it starts waning and it starts dropping off. That's going to be the real telltale sign, I think, is the next 3 to 4 weeks on this book.
Yeah, I agree, man. This is definitely a wait and see type of thing for me. Now, something else that I was looking at, I remember, I don't think it was like on a normal episode of Cover Picks, but I remember, I think it was one of the episodes where it was just you and me, and I want to say it was right after C2E2, because if you remember, this Black Panther series was supposed to start coming out like towards the beginning of fall, and it got pushed back. So I remember going through and looking at this issue and reading the previews for it. The artwork wasn't even out for the 1 in 25 and for the Juice Code or for the Gary Frank variant. And I remember reading the previews, and it was pretty much hinting at a new character premiering in this issue, but at the same time, like, Marvel has new characters popping up in books almost every week.
Yeah.
So, and there's nothing really to discern, all right, which character is going to be worth investing in and which one is not. A good example of that I can bring up is the United States of Captain America that came out last year. They introduced five new characters in that series. All first appearances, like undisputed first appearances, and none of those books are going for what the Tyson book is going for. And all of those characters got 1 in 25s. They got each one, it was 5 issues. Each issue had a new character introduced, and they had several covers for them. Marvel did a way bigger rollout for this than they did for the Black Panther 3, and these books don't sell for anything. You can still find these books in shops for cover price. So when I just kind of sit back and look at it, it seems like the only thing that really just heated this Black Panther book up was 2 things that really just heated this Black Panther book up. It was the fact that not a lot of shops knew that there was going to be a first appearance before the book was ordered. The other issue that we had was that the other issue that we had is that the previous 2 issues of Black Panther are still sitting in comic shops now, and not just the cover A. You have 1 in 25, 1 in 50, 1 in 100 ratios still sitting on shelves right now. So if you're a shop and you got the first 2 issues backlogged and you got an issue 3 coming up, you're not about to order another 50. You're not, or probably not even going to order 25. So a lot of shops didn't order this book. So in terms of rarity, there may be a case there for why people are rushing to get this book. But there's also a side to this that says, hey, I understand that this book may be rare. I understand that a website wrote an article, I think it was Bleeding Cool, that said, oh, this is going to be the next Miles Morales. Yeah. But at the same time, there's nothing from Marvel that's saying that Tyson is going to be a big character. And like I said, we have new characters introduced into comics like pretty much weekly at this point. So it's kind of like, okay, do all first appearances in Marvel books matter, or is it just the ones that have some type of pump behind it? So that's just, that's my only true concern about this book, because I do think that the rarity is there for this book. I'm just more so concerned with the character themselves and what Marvel as a company has envisioned for this character. Is this character ever going to get a solo series? He could go 10 years and never get a solo series. We could never hear from this character again after this current run of Black Panther is over with. And I would just hate to see that happen, because that'll put a serious dent in people's faith in Marvel premiering new characters and knowing, whether or not if they're gonna have a future.
I agree with in the chat, Comic Shack. He said Tosin is a backup plan in case the community doesn't dig Shuri taking the mantle. I agree with that to an extent, but that could only better the value of the book if he does take off. Even in the comic sector, he goes up. The book is gonna keep climbing, and they could put him in a cartoon. You know what I mean? He could be in a What If on Disney Plus, and he'll keep climbing. So I mean that's a good thing about the character. I just want the story to be good. You know what I mean? Like his story has to have substance and have to carry on for a while. Miles ain't just got 2 or 3 books. And Miles has series. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so he's got a lot of backstory.
Yeah, and Ultra Maximus might have said it best. He said they basically just ripped off Killmonger's from the Killmonger's backstory from the movies and gave it to Tosin in the comic book. So now I do want to go through some of the comments. Dwayne Scott says the Miles Morales Collective Coalition, aka MMCC, is coming up with a contingency plan to put a stop to this madness. Hey, Dwayne, we might need to make that happen, man, because they taking too much heat off of Miles right now. Let's see. Jamie Sandoval says, "I just feel that everyone is waiting to see what the Disney Plus will drop on characters, especially on Gold, Silver, and Bronze Age, but nothing. So now everyone jump ship and are on the FOMO. Yeah, that's a good point, man, because some of these older characters not being introduced into these Disney Plus shows the way everybody thought they would. Let's see. Marvel tea leaves are digging with the market, but the MCU is zagging. That's true too. Too late to buy. The funniest part is he is not on the cover. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people think that's him on the 1 in 25. It's not. And it's going to be a huge controversy if he ends up on the cover of that second print. That's going to be a huge controversy. The cover artist for the second print has already been announced, and it's Mana Hanini. Damn, I cannot pronounce his name, but he did that Miles Morales 33 variant cover, which is selling for y'all can see I searched that book a lot, so which that book is selling for a lot right now. Hold on, I'm gonna show it to y'all right quick, just in case you don't know what it is. He did this cover right here. So if he does like an original artwork of Tosin, because I know he didn't do the interior for Black Panther, so if he comes up with a dope second print cover with Tosin on it, man, that's gonna be a problem. That is going to be a problem. And it's going to be interesting. Some people say the 1 in 25 is safe regardless, but I think a second print with having the character that everybody is specking on the front of it by a new up-and-coming artist who definitely has, like this book right here selling for I think like $130 raw.
Yeah.
So he definitely has mass appeal to make a cover that's going to generate generate interest, not just by hardcore collectors, but by casuals too, in my opinion, because this looked like it was ripped right out of the Spider-Verse movie. So it's going to be interesting to see what the artwork ends up being like on that second print. I think that's going to be a really controversial topic right there surrounding this book. Astro Wizard says it's way too early to say. He could end up being the next Black Panther or Miles, but years down the line, it may pop like UF4 did. It's better to have a few put away in case. Yeah, that's another perspective of it. Is I think that as collectors, sometimes we're just a little bit smarter than we were in the past, and when we see an opportunity like this, we will invest more aggressively to secure a book like this, knowing that it could pay off huge, down the line. Even though I think people will overlook the most low-hanging fruit, the most obvious plays. Instead, they are running chase $600 raw book versus buying a first appearance of Dr. Aphra. I see that a lot all day, but at the same time, like if you got a gambler's mentality and you buy this book for $600 today, and then a couple of years from now, it's a $6,000 book. it's like, you know, I I can't argue with that with that type of mentality. Queen Key Comics says that the cover on is mad. Paul, I agree with that. These covers are not. I like the Gary Frank better than any of the covers. But these covers are not all that. Um, the Comic Shack says second print will be 100K print run. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, right.
Nathan says whatever print when that guy's on the cover, that's the book to buy. I agree with that. Because what happened is
100%.
this is what happened. They come out with a second print with on him on the cover. All the people who didn't get 1 in 25s or maybe didn't get a cover A, they start denouncing the 1 in 25 and pumping the but see, you also got to worry about the store exclusives now too. So but that's probably why Marvel ain't gonna do a ratio variant for the second print, because they probably know stores gonna try to.
I thought though that there was was cover art for like a character design variant.
I think that character design variant was from just like Marvel's website, because when I went looking for pictures of Tyson, I saw that on Marvel's website. Eric Hurd says it was also a $5.99 cover price book, less likely to order heavy with that price tag. I agree on that as well, especially if you're a smaller shop. Like Dallas probably has about 20 comic shops, probably more than that, but a lot of them are smaller shops. So they can't, you know what I'm saying? They serving people that live in that community. They're not gonna sit there and order 50 copies of Black Panther #3, especially not on the same week. So much you got to think about. Saga 55 dropped this week. So every shop I went to, they had mounds of Saga 55. If you order it for FOC freaking 3 weeks, a month in advance, you say, okay, I could buy Saga number 55 at $3 a pop. It probably costs the comic shops $1.50 a pop. Or I can buy these Black Panther 3s and it probably costs the shops about $3.50 a pop. They gonna order way more sagas because they gonna think that they gonna naturally assume that the saga is gonna sell more, which I agree that it would. I also feel like that with the Black Panther, like I said, the 2 previous issues weren't selling. So it's a lot of different ways to kind of look at this stuff and try to determine the rarity of a book, but I do admit that this book is rare. It's just that the character itself, we don't have anything that says that this character is going to be around long term. Mama Comics says, yeah, they keep pumping new characters and forget about them. I agree. Tyson has so much potential, though. I agree with that, man. Those two thoughts aren't mutually exclusive. They got a lot of characters with potential. Just kind of rolling through the comments here. Oh, a lot of comments in here. Brett Hess was probably one of the best comments I've seen about this. I feel lucky to have gotten the 2 that I did on Wednesday. Yeah, man. Sometimes people just need to learn how to be happy that they got the book, man. Leave it at that. Throw that shit in the short box, and if it pops in the future, you good, man. It ain't no point in sitting on IG all day arguing about print run and arguing about if this character is gonna be successful. Look, if you sit in the short box and you wait to see what's happening in the character, it's gonna play out the same, whether or not you get on IG and argue about it, or if the character is gonna be successful, or not. Now, I do like to talk about print run because I feel like rarity matters, and I feel like this book is only gonna be, I think, man, if we could ever get an accurate print count, I don't think it's no more than 25,000. Normal standard for Marvel ongoing series is about 40,000, 30 to 40,000 order, but I don't see this being no more than 25,000 because comic shops got burned on the first two issues of this. But the last thing I want to say before we get off of this is the Gary Frank variant for this. I think that this cover went under ordered. And I think if y'all want to make if you want to dip your toes in the water on this Black Panther 3, but you don't want to go for that 1 in 25, bob some of these Gary Frank variants. To me, this looks better than the cover A. I think this looks better than the cover A. I also think that, like I said, it went under order.
Hmm.
That's just my opinion. I like the cover. I feel like it went under order. I didn't see them in a lot of shops at all. Um, like I said, $6 cover price, man. If you keep that in consideration too, y'all. That's not a $4 cover price book. It is $2 higher than the natural book. So I mean, this Gary Frank variant, I think it's gonna end up being the second most rare book from this set easily. Um, and just something to think about, man. Something to think about. I think a lot of people rushed to sell their Gary Franks,
Yeah.
and what they really should have probably been trying to sell that cover A and then stack up more of these Bs.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about it: Tyson ain't on the
Hmm.
cover of the A, the B, or the 1 in 25. So if you want to think about it from the perspective of rarity, let's say it's end up being 800 1 in 25s out there and
Hmm.
775 other Gary Frank. The Gary Frank is still a more rare book, and it's a
Hmm.
very likely possibility that this book could be on the same pace as the 1 in 25 for rarity. Because here's the thing about open order and variants: there's no, like with a 1 in 25, in order to get that, you have to order 25. You can order 25 of the cover 8. So the whatever the print run is, that's gonna be indicative of to how many 1 to 25s is out there. But you can have shops that don't order nothing but cover A's. I have some shops like that they just order mainly cover A's, and they will only order 1 or 2 variants because they have short boxes and long boxes full with variants that don't sell. So you have some you have some shops that really won't order variants like that. So just something to think about. Like I said, this is not a spec play that's going to turn around and make you money next week. But as time goes on, if Tyson ends up popping and we get some type of confirmation or at least a ballpark number on these, or when people start getting these books graded, that's the big thing, because once the book's graded, we can start seeing how many 1 in 25s have been graded, how many of the Gary Frank variants, how many cover A's, and that's how we can start to break down the rarity of these books and get some type of confirmation on how rare they are. So,
I think that's what's fascinating to me is none of these are all raw sales. Literally, this is all raw sales. Nothing's created yet, and I kind of don't think it's necessary to get it graded. You know what I mean? Not right away. Like you can still get your money. Like that. Anybody who's going to grade it is probably thinking long term spec. Like the people who are getting it now, it's all raw sales. It's like
Yeah, I agree, man. Um, one last thing I did want to touch on, and we can move on from this Black Panther 3. Some people might like it, but this is a good thing for the comic book community because people are talking about comic books. You got people online buying comics who've probably never bought a comic book before. You got people investing into the hobby that probably just not that interested, but because of the MCU, they like, oh well, this might be the next Miles. Okay, let me go and pick this book up. Um, it's a good thing, man, to open up the market and expand it to people outside of that. And if this is the type of stuff that catches people attention, I'm I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. I just hope that too many people don't get burned and Marvel has like no plans on using this character outside of this solo series. That will really suck. All right, so moving on, we at the third pick, and it's on one of the OGs of cover picks, Dark Evolution Comics. What you gonna do, brother?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this one, but I'm just gonna go with something that a character I believe in and a book I believe in, which you can still get pretty cheap. I'm gonna go with Swordmaster #1.
Nice.
Ooh, oh man,
I'm not gonna
Swordmaster,
go.
man.
I'm
What,
not
what
going
and
for.
I love it.
what appeals about Swordmaster to you?
I love it.
Swordmaster, another great Asian character coming up, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this. New Agents of Atlas, I've been pushing that book forever now, and Swordmaster is in those books. His first appearance is in issue #2. This is his first solo series, and the art is great. This one went really under the radar, and people are only really now starting to catch up on this. I was able to get this. I was able to get cover A in one of my local comic shops this weekend in a back bin, and they were $2 a piece. So people still are kind of sleeping on this, but I think this character has big potential in the future. I'm not going to do cover A though. I actually want to go not even with the second print, which a lot of people would. I want to go with the 1 in 50 because the second print actually there was a decent amount. There was a decent amount printed for that one. I want to go for the 1 in 50 of the cover just because it's a little harder to find and there aren't a ton of them out there graded or anything yet. So they're pretty much a pain to find. So you're going to pay a decent amount, and when this character kicks off, I think that book's going to be one to have.
Yeah, I actually did a presentation on Swordmaster on Drunken Chat the other night, and man, I was surprised. But the second print and the 1 in 50, they not that far separated in print count
and price.
Yeah.
The one, and in price, but the 1 in 50 for the difference in rarity, I would rather have the 1 in 50 than the second print. Just because that little bit of rarity does make a difference, and then it just having that 1 in 50 ratio tag on it, it's going in the average comic book collector mind, seeing that 1 in 50 on knowing that's a 1 in 50 just makes all the difference. But yeah, man, when I did my presentation on Drunken Chat, I said, Swordmaster, I'm all in on his solo series, his first appearance in New Agents of New Atlas #2. The Iron Fist book that's coming up, I'm still not sold on that, but his solo series, first appearances, I think they are great investments, one of the best investments you can make right now. If you new into comic book collecting, go hit your shops. You can still find these in back issue bins. I think this is one of those books I will be confident telling anybody to go buy as an investment. Even right now off of eBay, you can get these for like $15-$20. Like most people spend that on a meal from Chipotle, bro. Like go and buy you, cook something at home one night and go buy you a couple of Swordmaster #1s, and you'll see a return on your money eventually. Let's see, Mama Comics, you passed up on the Swordmaster #1. And let's see here. So next pick is the big dog from the Bay, Big Remo.
I think I'm gonna rock with the Reptile #1.
Ooh, that I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that, man. Y'all playing aggressive today. Why Reptile?
Well, I think it has appeal not on just in the comic community, but I think kids would like a Reptile cartoon, kind of like a Ben 10 type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then have Eva can still be in Strange Academy, which could be like what we're all hoping is like a Marvel version of Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Something along those lines that could kind of grow. And I think they're just kind of, there's a lot of potential with these books, man. The characters that were introduced, they set up a nice backstory for them going forward. So I think they have a lot of potential. So, and you can still kind of get this book for cheap. Like, you know what I mean? It's not an unreasonable book. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people were laughing at it. And I think I was looking at Ferd's report, man, and there was a lot of 9/8s going for less than $100, man.
Like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, less than $50 for a 9/8 of the 1 in 25s, and that's a steal.
Yeah, I agree. And
it's a nice cover too.
Yeah,
it's a very nice cover. This book started to pop after I did my presentation on Drunken Chat. Literally the next week it was on Trending 20. It was on all the lists. I'm not one of them dudes that say, "Oh, that was my spec," or this, that, and the other. No, that's not I'm not that type of guy, but it is weird that this book started to pop after I did my presentation. And I will say one thing that was a little bit different about me talking about this book is that I went to the co-creator of it, Enid Balam. I didn't get a chance to talk to Terry Blast, but I talked to Enid, the artist, and he helped create Eva Quintero and Julian, Reptile's cousins, who make their first appearance in this book. So I wanted to get some insight from him, on the character, so that my presentation would be, a little bit more, a little bit more official, and I can make sure that everything was accurate. And the thing about it is that kids love dinosaurs. So I always kind of was secretly picking these books up because I just know kids love dinosaurs, and they could easily. You don't have to put everything in the MCU, bro. They can build for the future by putting these in kid shows, and then you can age the character with the kids. You know what I'm saying? And by time that character gets to a point where they want to put him in a movie or a D plus show, all the kids know who he is, and of course, us old heads, we already know who it is because we just keep track of everything that's in comic books. So, Reptile, man, I put this right up there with Swordmaster 1 in one of those books that if you buy this right now for the $15-$20 that it's going for on the secondary market, $100 9.8. You are going to make your money back one day. I don't know if it's going to be a year from now. I don't know if it's going to be 2 years from now. But those two books, I'm confident you're going to be able to make your money back on it. Reptile is playing to more of the Latino community. The Swordmaster stuff is playing to more of the Asian community. And we do need diversity in comics. But both of these characters, like, they not forced at all. Like, it's not a bunch of stereotypes about them or anything like that. They good organic characters. With unique things about them, like I just think I like both of these characters a lot, and I would like to have that same positivity about Tyson, but with everything that's going on surrounding Black Panther with Chadwick Boseman dying and them having problems with Letitia Wright, it just feels like anything that happens related to Black Panther is going to get pumped and hyped up because it's more of a public expectation than what Marvel might be strategically thinking about, in their plans. But with guys like Reptile and Swordmaster, you can see a logical path for these becoming future characters for the MCU. So great pick, Dark Evolution Comics. I love it, man. I'm a big fan of Reptile, and I think I'm sorry, great pick, Big Remo. I think Reptile is going to be great. I like that you guys being aggressive on this draft and taking future spec over books that are probably a little bit closer to popping off and coming to and coming to actually seeing these characters in the MCU. But I mean, I feel like big risk investments normally pay off bigger in the end than just keeping it safe. Big Remo, since you were last, you had back-to-back picks. What you gonna do, brother?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna close it out with some more of my wife's spec. I'm gonna take the voices comunicades or whatever. Yeah, humanidades or whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
Now hold on. Is this your draft or your wife's draft?
It's my draft, but I know about these characters because she's buying these books, and I gotta know about them. You know what I mean?
What Drake say? Is it your world tour or your girl tour?
My girl tour. So thing with her, what I like about her is I've been on reading Strange Academy since it dropped, and she started reading this book, and in this book she joins Strange Academy. So I kind of thought it was dope that they used this character and they transitioned her into Strange Academy. And that's why I like the Reptile book, because not only did you get the introduction to everybody else from, Avengers Academy for Reptile, you put him into his own solo series, but then you introduce her, and you don't make her dependent on Reptile. Like, he can go and do his own thing, and then she's going to go into Strange Academy, and she might be bigger, a bigger character going forward. You know what I mean? So I think that she hits a lot of You know what I mean? A lot of points. You know what I mean? That people can identify with. You know what I mean? And I think that she has a potential to be a pretty popular character.
Yeah, bro, this not the first piece of spec that your wife been on point about. You know, if we just being all the way honest. And when I first read this book, I was like, damn, I was like, it's some stuff in here, man. And that's what made me do my presentation. And this was one of on Reptile, and this was one of the books that I included in it because the presentation was on Eva Quintero. It wasn't even really about Reptile, but her first appearance is in Reptile. But even if the unique thing about this cover is her first cover appearance is on an open order variant for Reptile #2, but she's just a child. This is her first cover appearance as a teenager, and I don't think people realize how big of a deal that is. And this is a $10 book. This is a $10 book.
Yeah. Off top.
There's not a lot of these out there, bro. And it's a square bound book.
So even if you go back on that, what you just said, she was a child in Reptile, and then in this book, she's a teenager. It's the same in Strange Academy 15. They transition to teenagers, and they have been kids for the first 14 issues. You know what I mean? Like children. Mm-hmm. And now they're teenagers. You know what I mean? And I think people skipped over that fact. You know what I mean? That the book going forward, they're not going to be children anymore. You know what I mean? So that kind of changes up the whole, dynamic of it. It's going to make a lot more people be able to kind of, be more accepted instead of feeling like they're reading a kid's book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can put them in more mature situations. You know what I mean? So, the book is, to me, like, when she ordered them, she was like, I need to order this book because look at this cover. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. And I didn't think about it, but then when she got it in, I'm like, damn, I didn't see that book anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I went to all these shops and I didn't see it, and she got one in the mail, and I'm like, dude, where'd you get that at? Because when I went to the shop, he had a total different cover, and she was like, oh, I ordered it from wherever she ordered it from. And I'm like, okay, she might be on to something.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 different covers for this book.
And this is like the last one. This is like the 5th cover or whatever.
And think about being a comic shop and you got all these different books to choose from. It's kind of like, damn, well, which one do I order? You know what I'm saying? Like most shops ordered the cover A. I can find the cover A all day, but man, this is like a cover F. You can't find a lot of them, and it's a $10 book. I'm telling you, this book is gonna go nuclear one day, and it's gonna be a lot of people sitting around with their mouths open, just in total shock and disbelief.
Because, like you said, it's a $10 book. You know what I mean? Like, when you go in there, there's not going to be a lot of people ordering heavy on the $10 books. They're going to get the cover A, and they're going to barely get the cover A. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to get just the minimum. They're not going to order a ton of these. So to get the F, you had to be really knowing what you were ordering, or you didn't order this book at all.
Yeah, and this, like I said, this is her first. In my opinion, this is like her first real cover appearance, because the other one, she's just on the back of a dinosaur, opening up a portal. This one is way more focused and way more. And plus, like I said, it's the first appearance of her in her official, superhero uniform. It's like her coming of age. But I do want to ask our expert art analyst on the show, Dark Evolution Comics, what do you think about this cover? Is it just from an art perspective? How do you feel about it?
I like it. As a guy, a lot of people aren't going to expect me to say I love pink covers, but I do. They stand out really bright, and the background being such a bright color like that, and it just makes her pop out even more. And then she's got these dynamic colors on too. That's a great cover. That's a really great cover.
Yes, sir. I definitely agree on that one. All right, man. Great pick, Big Remo.
I'll say I had to pivot to those picks because of my draft position, and Ferg took my first pick, man.
I mean, I had to do you dirty,
Yeah, I had to pivot real quick, man, when he took my first pick. I didn't think anybody was going to take that one. I was like, I can sneak that in there and get that at my first pick. He took it first.
Man, I think I
right.
drafted the wrong book for Big Remo. Or did I?
Come on, man.
We got
I don't
less.
know what happened. I accidentally pressed the side of my mouse and it did something weird to the draft.
It's all good. We know what I took.
Fix it in
Yeah.
post.
Hold on, it might be. I don't know. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll fix it after the fact. All right. So Firebird is saying that it's on you. What you gonna do, brother?
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go a little safe here. I'm gonna go with Moon Knight 188.
Man, and what's your reasoning behind Moon Knight 188, brother?
Well, I know when the preview came out, this book dipped a little bit. So I actually had picked up a couple copies. But now there's speculation that Ethan Hawke is actually the Sun King, and the Doctor, whatever his name is just an alias. And just with all the hype of the new show coming out in a couple months, I think it's a good investment. I think people are sleeping on this book a little bit compared to Moon Knight #2, and I'm almost condition sensitive too. I feel like this is an easier kind of 9/8 if you're going to submit it.
Yeah,
it's not too tough of a book to get high grade, so long as there's no color, no color breaks or anything like that. But I think it's a good book. It's a newer book. So I think I found this at a store behind a couple of my books. That guy was just sleeping on it, to be honest, for cover price. But yeah, that's the reasoning behind my pick.
Man, I didn't get more. I had the opportunity to get a stack of them, and I only took 2.
Man, I've never seen that book before, man. Like, man, I'll be having a lot of good books, but I've never seen that one before.
Ninth. Yeah. Real quick, I think you fell on the draft here because Remo had 2 picks in a row. We're snake drafting, right?
Yeah, but
yeah. So it should have been me, and then you.
Yeah, it goes backwards.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened, bro. Like I accidentally hit a button on the side of my mouse, and it just sent the draft into a fit, bro.
Into a.
I mean, he didn't take the book I want anyway, so I'm good with it. But
we all good. We all good. Then. Sorry. So what book were you gonna take next, Paul?
Yeah. I'm gonna go a little off the side here, and I'm just gonna go with New Teen Titans Annual.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh. Okay.
You watch Peacemaker yet?
Oh man, I am absolutely watching Peacemaker, and it's so much better than I could have ever imagined. That shit is hilarious. The show's great. Vigilante is really funny. The whole cast is great. A lot of deadpan humor in it, and the show is fun to watch. And if you're not watching it, go find it. You know, I'm not telling you to bootleg it if you don't have HBO Max, but go find it. It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
They changed the character. I heard that they changed the actor or whatever for Vigilante. I think Brian was saying that. What happened?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
I'm behind on that show. I gotta catch up on that show.
I haven't watched it. I always thought it was different. Like I always thought reading the book when I was younger, that Vigilante was like a hard ass. I never thought he had a sense of humor. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm remembering wrong. That was the only thing I was like, I didn't know he was.
Yeah, but man, hey, low key, DC is putting together a nice little run on these shows, man.
Yeah.
The Lois and Superman is good. Peacemaker has been good.
Oh yeah.
Titans has been awesome for all of their seasons. And I know a lot of people don't like their CW shows, but they're great shows for casuals who want to get into, you know, into the MCU, into the DC movies. They're a great starting place. And some of the CW shows I like. You know, I'm not gonna front and act like I don't watch any of the CW shows, but yeah, DC is starting. Man, DC is putting together a little bit of momentum, man. So that might be something that we need to keep an eye on with DC.
You know,
if
Guardians of the Galaxy is done, and if Gunn is no longer to be doing MCU stuff, maybe DC should just swoop him up for more stuff because he's bringing
Yeah.
a real different kind of vision for these characters,
Mm-hmm.
and it's working.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
pay
Yep.
him.
Yep.
Just pay him.
Man, so let me see. Would it be back on me next? I'm kind of.
Yeah, it's you since Ferd went. Yeah, you get one.
So I'm gonna go with all new Ghost Rider, #1.
Everybody just
Man,
jacking.
I thought this would have went a lot higher, bro.
I was
And,
trying to speak it, man.
man, Robbie Reyes is such a badass, man.
Yeah,
A
he
Ghost
is.
Rider in a freaking American muscle car. Like,
Yeah.
man, like this character can appeal to kids. This character can appeal to grown men. Like, man, when Marvel cashed the check off this character, that's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
big check, man. That's
But he
gonna
was
be a
already on.
big check.
He was on Shield.
It's different though, bro. It's different
No, I know.
because that was,
We're just gonna
pre
pretend that doesn't
pre Disney
exist.
Plus days. Plus,
Yeah.
like I said, like they could throw him in a kids cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a lot that you can do with a
I
character
love
like
this
this.
book, man. I don't own a copy. I had an opportunity to get a second print when I got back into to books, and I totally passed on it. And I've been kicking myself ever since then. And this book, man, I'm hoping I can find it. I just, man, it just keeps going up, though, man. It just keeps going up.
Yeah, man. I had to point out to somebody that a lot of these all new Marvel books are almost 10 years old, bro.
That's so
They
crazy.
they're creeping up on 10 years old, and it seemed like this stuff just came out yesterday for me. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
something to keep in mind, bro. Some of these characters have been around for a while now, so it's not out of the realm for Marvel to say, "Oh, let's just start using more of these characters that we created in the past 10 years since the MCU has actually been around, instead of digging back into the 60s and 70s to find, in 80s to find characters. Let's use the characters that we created recently." So I believe there's a huge spike that's gonna come in Marvel books for books, everything created after 2011. I think it's gonna be a huge spike for in demand on those books. So keep an eye out for that. All
And the
right.
second prints on all of those are just monsters.
Yep. And we're not very well taken care of either.
Not at all.
All right. Y'all gotta keep me stay on focus. Who would be the pick now?
It's gonna be Ferd now.
Ferd now. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ferd, what's your
Okay.
third and final pick, brother?
Man, I'm gonna go with Godzilla, man. King of the monsters, dude.
Godzilla. Yeah, man. Gotta show love to the king, man. Gotta show love to the king. Godzilla is such a badass. I guess the spec around this is that it's supposed to be a Godzilla TV show in production or something like that.
Yeah, aren't they? They're based it off the previous movie, right? With Bryan Cranston, or am I incorrect?
Yeah, I think it's the movie spec. Like they're supposed to
Man, that
have
movie
like.
that was such a good movie. I loved that movie, man. It's a good series.
Yes, sir. And man, I love this cover too. Like, we really don't get a lot of covers because a lot of artists depend on like digital, so much. But like when I look at covers like this, I can imagine somebody sitting at like they artist table and sitting there hand drawing this and thinking about what they gonna do next. Oh, let me add in this guy parachuting down like he just came out of eject. He just hit the ejection button. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if I had another plane coming in and shooting, and shooting at the at Godzilla, just like you could see the thought, and creativity that went, into this, and just to know that all of this is hand drawn, and it probably took somebody, hours upon hours to complete this, man. It just makes me have more of an appreciation for these older books, being that a lot of stuff is moving, towards more of a digital format in comics. And not just as far as how people consume comics, but just as far as the art. You see a lot of artists using, a digital crutch more. But great pick, Ferd, with Godzilla. I thought this book would go a little bit higher too, because who doesn't love Godzilla? All right, we're creeping down to our last couple of books here. So Dark, is it back on you now? Would you be
So you were second pick, so it's you now.
okay? I'm gonna go with
You're missing some
Deathstroke.
books though. You're missing a bunch of books.
Well, no, we already drafted the other books. It's just
Yeah.
because we only did 12 books. We only did 12 books, so it was 3 picks apiece.
Yeah.
So Deathstroke Inc. #5 to 1 in 25. Cezerti. I can't pronounce the artist name, but this is a beautiful cover. Some people don't like cover plays. I do because I feel like good art always stands the test of time, especially when they have rarity behind it. And it's not a lot of people ordering these DC 1 in 25 variants. The great thing about them is that they come on cardstock paper. So not only does it help the art present better, but your book generally is going to come out in better shape. So if you're a type of person that likes to get your books graded, you kind of solidify with having that 9-8 contender versus the only thing I fear about, like with that Black Panther 3, a bunch of people buying those books, but like those could easily not be 9-8 contenders. They could possibly even not be 9-6 contenders because Marvel doesn't print on good paper, and Penguin hasn't been lights out as far as shipping books. From my just based on my experience, I bet I would willing take a bet that Lunar is shipping their books better than PRH is. So if you don't pay a lot of money for a ratio variant, give me something that's got timeless art, which I think this art is timeless. And I also think that just everything else about that goes into a comic book, I think you're getting a little bit more value with this book, just strictly looking at like the art play on it. But Paul, like I said, you are one of our art guys. What do you think about this cover?
Yeah, I gotta basically echo everything you said. The cover is super simple, but she presents really far up there. I mean, you have the ninjas in the background or what have you, but she's obviously the main focus. The art is absolutely beautiful. She looks stunning. And DC is absolutely knocking it out of the park on their cover B variants. Every single one of them is damn near something you could put on a wall and be happy with it. And their covers are cheap. Yeah, it's $4.99, I believe, for the cover Bs, but it's cardstock. It's super heavy. The ones I see almost always are 9.8, 9.6 competitors. Whereas, like you said, Marvel, man, it's a crapshoot. Their books are just printed on absolute garbage. It's basically tissue paper, and it's really not as easy to get such a nice cover. And the gloss of these card stocks also make it just absolutely stick out and shine. So you can't go wrong with these. These are absolutely beautiful, and no one's getting them, so you can get them cheap.
Yep, and I said that man, like those DC card stocks look so good in person. Like the digital pictures don't do a lot of these books justification. Like they look so much better once you actually get them in hand in person. All right, so we weaned it down to the last 2 books, and it just logged me out, but it logged me right back in. All right, awesome. And all right, so who will be the next pick?
That's me.
Yeah, that's you, Paul.
Yeah.
So you going with what book? You going with the X-Men 6 or the Fantastic 358?
Yeah, I gotta go with X-Men 6 on that one. Abigail Brand just being introduced. She's going to be in upcoming Disney Plus series, so maybe she's not going to have. I mean, you never know. She could have something major going on in the MCU at some point, but as soon as they get introduced into a show, there's going to at least be a bump in their character for at least a short amount of time. So maybe this is a good grab on the interim right now. Just grab it cheap and then push them out. Try to resell them when the show pops, and then maybe hold on to one or two in case she gets bigger in the MCU later on.
And one thing, a question I did have, fellas, would y'all consider this a classic cover?
I mean, it's supposed to be the homage to the classic Joker and Harley Quinn cover, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, homages are great, but I don't know if I would consider this a classic myself.
Yeah, no, it's not even. It's definitely not iconic.
It doesn't really
I always thought
stand out
this
to
was.
me, but
Man, I love this cover, bro. Like I absolutely love this cover. I think it's a dope. I think it's a dope cover, man. I love this cover. But I love the X-Men, so it's X-Men cover always stand out and get a little bit more appreciation from me.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to tell you two things that drive me nuts about this cover, and it's just me, but that his left hand, as you're looking at the cover, has black on it from her thing, like it's just overhang, and then on his arm, her hand, and everything, his arm is bleeding into her arm, and it's just driving me bonkers. But it's a good cover
because she's phasing into him.
Yeah, I know, but it just, if you don't know anything about the comics, I know she's phasing into.
You feel like it was an unnecessary.
Yeah.
It was an unnecessary thing to do.
Yeah. Just artistically, it bothers me. I know where you're getting at, and that she's phasing, but yeah, it just bothers me a little.
All right, so our last book on the list is Fantastic Four.
My question is, what happened to? I had Moon Knight #1. I had Hulk #3.
It cleared out for some reason, so I have to go back and rebuild everything. So
can I pick one of those? Because I don't know nothing about this book.
all the other books got picked. Yeah, all those other books got picked.
No. The Moon Knight Volume 2 #1 or Volume 2 Yeah.
Oh, you talking about from the original list?
Yeah. No.
I had the trim. Yeah, I always go back and.
I don't know what this book is though, but yeah, I'll take it. I ain't got it.
We had nothing but Marvel books on the list, so I had to go back and kind of and
readjust.
Readjust it. But I mean, every book that I put on there was books that you guys submitted to the list. So it's.
I don't know what this book is. I don't know what this is. What's the spec on this?
What was the spec on this book? That probably means it's not a book that. Yeah, it's probably not a book y'all need to be specking on. Then that's what the hell that means. Probably not a book that y'all should be specking on.
I don't know what that book is.
This is one that. This is the first book of Pie Book, the Power Scroll, a bionically enhanced captain in Scroll Empire. So another Scroll spec book, man. Like it's a million Scroll books out there for you to spec on, bro. I'm not. I'm not.
Definitely not specking on.
Yeah, and like a low totem pole character like that, bro. Just no. If you see it in a dollar bin or something,
that's all that would be. Yeah, I know the cover, and I would grab it if I saw it in a dollar bin. But other than that,
I wouldn't waste my time with it, bro. Not everything. Just because a character is gonna be in the MCU, don't mean that the book is worth picking up at the end of the day. That's how you get yourself in a bad situation, just jumping at any and everything, being like a blind dog in the meat market, bro.
What they say, all money ain't good money.
Yeah, all money ain't good money, man. Yeah. All money ain't good money.
True that, yeah.
Like I said, you get one in a dollar bin and you can turn around and sell it on eBay for $15-$20. Go for it, but you got to play this up. All right, man. So we made it through our first episode. I want to thank all three of you fellas for coming out tonight and getting us through the first one of these things. Hopefully, plenty more to come in the future. Based out on the early turnout, it seemed like the community was anticipating this, and a lot of people wanted this. We had 30, right off the bat, which is pretty. That's we only have 30 people in the chat off the rip, so that that's pretty good. Definitely got to give a big shout out to the community, for showing up tonight. I go back and watch the replay and get everybody's name entered on that giveaway wheel to win that Black Panther 3. If you didn't get to watch live, drop a comment below, and I'll get you an entry on the wheel, and we'll be giving away that Black Panther 3 at the beginning. Well, I'm not gonna say at the beginning, but during Wednesday's show. So, fellas, do y'all have anything y'all want to touch on? Anything y'all need to let the people know before we sign out?
All right, just thanks for coming out and supporting us, man. We appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Well, it
was a lot of fun and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
All right, well, we about to put rubber to the road. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.